You love piercings until you know this information.
Welcome to Red Majesty's channel.
When we get our piercings done, we sometimes, or maybe most of the times, don't think about possible consequences after getting a piercing done. So we need to be aware of possible situations that may come with the piercings or after getting a piercing. We need to be informed with this before getting a piercing to consider if a piercing will be something that I really get done. We could get allergic reactions when we get a piercing.
What?
This often happens because of the jewelry that often is used when we get a piercing done. Though we have information that titanium, opium, or surgical steel is used when we get a piercing done, if we change the jewelry before the piercing is completely healed, we might get an allergic reaction. This often happens because the area is not completely healed. We often touch the area without our proper cleaning aftercare recommendations, or we are simply allergic to the material used. If that's the case, we can either change the material with the proper sterilization of the new material to be used. We can either go to our regular piercer, or we can, if we want to change piercer, because that could happen, ask them if they can provide us with a new sterilized jewelry to change in case of an allergic reaction. Sometimes allergic reactions occur with nickel jewelry. I have recommended in previous videos that nickel is a material that we cannot use when we are performing services for piercings. We can also have infections in our skin. Infections could cause redness, inflamed area, pain, or we can even have fever. If this happens, we either need to follow up how the symptoms worsen, and if we don't get the symptoms resolved, we will need to go visit a doctor.
Over and over again.
In those cases, we can also see liquid coming out of the piercing area, and the recommendation will, in most cases, be to take the piercing off and let the area completely heal. We can also confront another type of skin issues, and those are keloids. Some people have the tendency to have keloid cicatrization. When this happens, I honestly don't recommend for you to do a piercing. Some people had surgeries, and on the surgery area they tend to have keloid cicatrization, but they had piercings previously done and the piercings didn't have keloid cicatrization. These type of situations could happen, but if by any chance you had any keloid cicatrization on your area, I honestly don't recommend getting any other type of piercing done, because you might be susceptible to have keloid type of cicatrization. When we are getting piercings on our mouth area done, we need to be very attentive that we might have gum issues, we might lose enamel, and we might have teeth broken.
What?
This happens because when we are eating, sometimes we could bite the jewelry, or if we tend to play with the jewelry in our mouth, we are tending to break the teeth with that jewelry. The gum could be affected with the jewelry inside our mouth or with the lip area. And with this piercing that is now getting this all hype, the smiley, the area where the smiley is done is really delicate. And that area tends to break because it doesn't support the weight of the piercings for a long period of time. So when you speak, when you smile, when you talk, when you eat, all the mouth movement that you are doing, you are provoking a friction in that area. So when you are provoking that friction, the piercing is tearing off that skin in that particular area, and also the piercing is doing some friction in the enamel of your teeth. So basically, when you get those type of piercings, the dentist might recommend you to take them off because he will see how delicate the enamel gets when you have those type of piercings. And when you get tongue piercings, he will see on the inside part of your teeth how delicate they get because of the piercing that you have in your mouth. So those are things for you to consider when you are getting piercings. Look, I am a piercer, and my responsibility is to inform you and educate about possible consequences you might encounter when you are getting a piercing. Also, when you are getting a tongue piercing, you might affect tongue nerves that could possibly affect your speech and your sensitivity to taste with the food and the drinks and everything. So that's something that you need to consider when getting a piercing in your mouth. I am not in the intention to scare you. This is just for information purposes. My goal is for you to be aware of possible consequences, because sometimes we do things without understanding and being aware of what could possibly go wrong when we do things. And then when we have the aftermath, we just start asking everywhere, what happened? Why does this happen to me? We need to understand this is what could happen if you do this and this and that, okay? We could possibly have trauma and skin tear off when we get a piercing. Areas where this could happen, the navel, the brow, lips, ears. How could this happen? Opening a drawer. How could this happen? Yes, opening a drawer, getting close to a sink, playing with a baby, doing some extravagant activity, you name it. Accidents happen. And unfortunately, sometimes we are having a good time, laughing out loud, playing hands or whatever, and we could have an accident that could take us to a trauma in the hospital, and we might need plastic surgery on a space that we just previously had as a piercing, and things happen. What I want you to understand that if this was the case, don't blame the piercer. I have seen some posts on social media, not not precisely because of a tear off of the skin, but other type of situations where people try to get assistance because I did this piercing on myself and it's not healing properly. Look, if you don't take proper aftercare of your piercing or follow the recommendations that the piercer gave you, or once you get the piercing done, you go straight to the beach or to the sauna, or you go and let everybody touch your piercing with their nasty, dirty hands, you're going to get an infection. You're going to get an allergic reaction. You cannot blame the piercer for things that happened to you because you needed to take care of your piercing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a 50-50 responsibility. The piercer give you a service, and you have to take care of your piercing. You have to follow the recommendations. You have to stay with the piercing that we put on you until it heals. Some people just change it right away. They did the piercing. Why you do that? Why would you do that? You are risking yourself changing that piercing, and then you're risking on an infection. Why would you do that to yourself? And then you come back saying, hey, you didn't do this piercing right on me. And when you look at the piercing, but this is not the piercing jewelry that I put on you. Why you have the piercing jewelry? And then, I gotcha. Come on, don't do that. You can get a disease while getting a piercing. Unfortunate to say, unfortunately, things could happen if the materials that are used are not properly cleaned, disinfected, sterilized, and taken care of, and they are used on you. Unfortunately, you could get a disease that is transmitted through the blood. This could be hepatitis B, hepatitis C, tetanus, and HIV. Unfortunate to say, unfortunate to hear, scary as it sounds, but these are things that could happen. Anything that involves blood, body fluids, you can be at risk. Once you make this type of decision, you need to be focused and aware that things could happen. And we cannot take for granted and diminish or minimize the value, the importance of our blood. So many things are in our bloodstream, and we need to be aware of that. I just want this video to be informative. My purpose is not to scare people. I just want you to be acknowledged and aware that things and accidents happen. Nobody is 100% safe. Once you make a decision, you need to be aware of the risk, possible situations that could happen. Accidents happen. It could be to anyone, anybody, in any place in the world. And I just hope that this video helps you, is useful for you. I thank you for watching until this moment, and I will see you on the next video here in Red Majesties channel.